Let's make sure we're good. We should be live right now. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? We back. Sorry I missed last week. Had a crazy storm roll through where I'm at, and it knocked out the fiber Wi-Fi, and it was down for a week where I was at. So that was fun. That was badass, especially with a 4-year-old that's addicted, dude. Well, I wouldn't say addicted. Obsessed with Fortnite. Obsessed with Fortnite. And he couldn't play. And the world, I don't know if you guys know this, was going to end because of that shit. It was going to end, and it just happened to not. So thank God we made it through. Thank you, Jesus. Dude. Oh my God. You got to have some sort of 0-calorie drink. And I like my Dr. Pepper Zero. Don't get me wrong. I like my Dr. Pepper Zero. But these, specifically, this flavor, grapefruit citrus, I'm telling you right now, it'll make your tongue smack your brain out. I'm telling you right now. You may not believe me. You may not believe me. But I'm telling you the truth. All right. Real quick, before we move on, I'm going to make sure this mug is even going live. Because I'm not doing that shit again. Yeah, we live. I got that fucking picture. Sitting there smiling like cheesing. I like that. It says, what happens when you take your life serious? And that'll lead us right into the topic for today. The title. What happens when you take your life serious? And I'd like to expand on that. Expound on that. Expel on that. I'm playing. I know that's not the proper way to use that word. Look, I'm just going to get right into it. You know, what happens when you take your life serious? And what do I mean by that? What does it mean to take your life serious? These are all good questions. These are great questions, y'all. Jesus Christ. All right. So, the reason I wanted to talk about this is it's probably about a month back now. Let me go even further back. So, honestly, probably about a year ago is when I felt the urge to start doing live streams and stuff. And that came from I actually was doing a lot of content and stuff on Facebook. Started when I was selling cars, and then it kind of just turned into me excuse me, talking about like self-improvement stuff, making like funny skits. At least I thought that was funny. And just making a bunch of content. And I genuinely liked it. I enjoyed it. It was like a creative outlet, but I also like could impact people. At least I felt like I was impacting them. Had to roll that up a little bit. And I enjoyed it. And then one thing led to another. I ended up not working as a car salesman anymore. And so I quit making content. And I just felt like, man, I'd like to do live streams. And I was kind of thinking about it before I left the car sales place, the car sales world, I guess you could say. I was just thinking about doing it. And I think we're like around 3 months, somewhere around there, of every week, Monday, your boy has been showing up and doing a live stream. Now I didn't get to do it this past week. Sorry about that. There really was. It was out of my control. I'm sorry. But I'm happy I did that. That being said, so that gets us to about a month ago. I'm someone that if I ever do anything, like I'm 100% or I'm 0%, you know? It's very hard for me to find the middle ground, and that's with anything. I'm all or nothing kind of dude. And when I started this, I was like, all right, I've got to have the titles good. I've got to have these thumbnails good. I've got to sit here and plan for hours and hours and hours. I've got to do this, that, and the third, you know? And it just was getting a little bit too much for me because I'm like, also I've struggled with perfectionism and stuff, which I've talked about in past live streams, but excuse me. I remember I just talked to God about it nonstop. I'm like, God, what should I do? Like, what direction should I take the channel? What should the niche be? And this is about a month ago, and I felt like sweet little baby Jesus whispered in my ear. I mean, all jokes aside, really. I felt like he told me, hey, if you take it serious, I'll take it serious. I was like, man, what do you mean by that? And I sat with that for weeks. And I've continued to try this thing, try that thing, talk about this topic, do this kind of thing, build Legos, watch videos, all sorts of stuff. But one thing has been consistent. Hey, I've been making content. I've been showing up, regardless. Which is a step in taking things serious. But, ugh. I know in my heart of hearts that I haven't taken it serious yet. And I'm reminded of a phrase, and actually this came from my dad. My dad told me this phrase. Supernatural things happen, you know, unexplainable things. I can't remember exactly how my dad phrased it, but he was like, if you bring the natural, he'll bring the super. Meaning if you bring your efforts, it's kind of like that. Well, not kind of. It's like that verse in the Bible. Faith without works is dead. You know. If you bring the natural, if you bring your works, then he'll bring the super. And kind of relating to the faith word in that verse. And I've thought about that a lot. And I was sitting there thinking this past week, man, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? I don't feel like in my heart that I've really gotten to the point to what I'm going to talk about now that I think God was impressing on my heart to get to with this content stuff. I was reminded of finances because that's an area of my life that September last year, we're almost a year ago to the day, I was 35,000 and some change in debt. Okay. Right now, as things sit, I'm right around 6,000, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars, so like 6,000 something in debt now. Which I did not think was going to be anywhere near where I was at this point. But how that happened is I sat down. Actually, Dave Ramsey, man. Dave Ramsey, my man! But for real, I just followed his plan. I budget my money at the end of every month for the following month. I make sure every dollar has an assignment. And I've continued revising and planning and growing at this. I've gotten better at it over the last year. And I've made less money at the job I'm currently at, where I made it into the union. Like, I lost money, but that don't matter. But anyways, like I'm making less money, but I've paid off a shit ton of debt, in a year. Um, and it came from, hey, I worked a plan, you know. I had a plan, a good plan, and I worked it. I was consistent, I was diligent with it, and I stuck to it. But if you do the numbers right now, all right, so let's do 11 months. So it's not a year yet. So 35. Let's just do 35,000 even divided by 11 months. That's a little bit over $3,000 a month of debt I've paid off in the last year. Right now, I am not even making that amount every month. Now I've got a lot of good benefits and everything, and I'm in a 4-year apprenticeship. I'll end up making double what I'm making now. This, that, third, but that's what I'm getting at. Is like, how did that happen? I've thought about that. How did I do that? There's been a lot of things that's happened. God works in mysterious ways. My mom totaled my car. I got a lot of money for that. I got another car. Ended up selling that for like 3 times what I got it for. Took that money, got a older beater car, and then took the remaining amount of money, paid off a bunch of debt. And so in just that little story right there, there's supernatural things and there's natural things. I didn't have to. I could have kept a newer car, I could have, but I had a plan and I stuck to the plan and I had a goal and I was going to a certain place and I knew I was going to get there, and God was blessing that. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And just for me right now in the season I'm in, it's like, all right, I want to keep going down the road I'm on, physically, financially, career wise, relationships wise. Because I feel like I'm starting to flourish. But something that's really on my heart right now is the content stuff. It's important to me. It's really a hobby. But I think it can turn into something. I have faith that it can turn into something. And that's what God said to me. He said, hey, if you take it serious, I'll take it serious. So now, even just talking to you guys out there in the world, I know that, man, I need to put together a plan. I need a plan. I need to put together a plan for this here content stuff. And then I need to be diligent with that plan and stick to that plan. Now, the financial plan, it's restrictive. It's not easy, but it's doable. And I need to do the same thing here. And this applies to whatever goal you may have. It needs to be restrictive. It needs to be hard. It needs to stretch you a little bit. But it's got to be doable. And that reminds me of something. This might help you. Whenever you set a goal, make sure it's a SMART goal. Now, that's an acronym. SMART. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be attainable. It needs to be relevant. And it needs to be time-based. Right? So I have a goal to get into shape. All right? All right, well, let's make that goal specific. All right, I want to lose 20 pounds. All right, specific. Is it measurable? It's both those. All right, it's a specific and measurable goal. I can measure that 20 pounds. Is it relevant? Yeah, it's relevant because I want to lose weight, right? And then, is it attainable? All right, I can lose 20 pounds. Now, is it time-based? I can lose 20 pounds and I want to lose 20 pounds in a week. Now, is that attainable? Not healthily. All right, in a week. All right, I want to lose 20 pounds in 6 months. All right, boom. Now you've got a SMART goal, okay? So there's your goal, and then make a plan to do it. And the cool thing about a SMART goal is kind of helps you make a plan a little bit. Back a napkin plan, And then you can really get in the nitty gritty of it. So wanted to share that with you. I need to do that with the content stuff. Now, I wanted to watch this video. I was just kind of searching, and I found this here video. 4 steps to going all in for God. So, let's watch it. No. This is how you get past the
how to
ads.
be all in for God. If you're wanting to give
Clean. Let's make sure y'all can see this. Yep. Cool.
your all to God, this is the video for you. I'm going to share 4 steps on how to go all in for God.
Now, to be clear, he's talking about how to go all in for God. I just kind of wanted to watch this video. I liked how the thumbnail said lukewarm. But anyways, I hope that what he says can be applied to everything else. I assume it will be. And I might even look up another video after this that we can watch pertaining to the same thing.
All 4 steps are given to us from Jesus in Revelation 3:14 through 20. When we look at these verses...
Bro, side note. When I was younger, I always thought it was badass. Like, I wanted to live, like, van life. Did y'all ever, like, get into the van life YouTubers and stuff back in the day? Bro. Some of them Sprinter vans, bro, they're like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Like, pretty much, I mean, that's a healthy down payment on a house. But I always thought that would be so cool to do. Like, just live in a van down by the river.
Jesus is talking about a church in Laodicea that was not all in. They were lukewarm. In verses 14 through 16, he says, you are neither hot nor cold. This church in Laodicea, they lived in between 2 places, Hierapolis and Colossae. Hierapolis had hot springs. Colossae had cold springs. And when the water supply in Laodicea would go out, they would have to pump in water from these 2 places. As they did that, what would happen is they would get this big calcium buildup in the pipes, and the water that was lukewarm was actually toxic. Jesus is...
Dude, that was a W freaking, like, research. That was badass. I didn't know that.
Isn't saying that he hates lukewarm water, that he never drank room temperature water. What he's saying is, you, church in Laodicea, who I'm talking to, who I'm writing to, you of all people know what it means to be lukewarm, because the lukewarm water that you're used to tasting, you spit it out of your mouth because you know it's toxic from that calcium buildup. He's calling them out of a life of toxicity. Lukewarm Christianity is toxic for the church. People who are on the fence, indecisive, are toxic in the church. They serve the world. They serve God. They serve money. They serve Jesus. They're on the fence. Then he tells us 4 steps out of lukewarm Christianity. He shows us 4 steps on how to be all in for God. Number 1 is wait.
Here we go. Number 1.
It says in verse 17, for you say, I am rich, I have prospered, I need nothing, not realizing that you are wretched, poor, blind, and naked. To wake is to realize you've been sleeping, to realize you're not as rich or as prosperous or as perfect as you think you are. The people in Laodicea, they were thinking that they are righteous in and of themselves. They've done a lot of good things. They're a pretty good person. You know, I'm not as bad as so-and-so or the church down the block. They had gotten to the point where they
wake up to reality. Naruto people know. Now, I like this point that he's making. It's you're waking up to the reality of who you are. And I hope he touches on, hey, that's the person that Jesus died for. The broken version of you. The real version of you. Wake up to who you are. And who you are on a foundational level. I mean, if you believe how I believe, is you are created in his image and his likeness. Now, you are not perfect. You're imperfectly perfect. And that is who God can bless. When you wake up to who you are and you live as that person.
They stopped realizing that they need God for their righteousness. They needed to wake up. Number 2 is take. Look at verse 18. It says, I counsel you to buy from me gold refined by the fire, so that you may be rich, in white garments, so that you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen. He's saying, buy from me your righteousness. He's saying, take from me. Jesus is saying, take from me my righteousness, because you don't have righteousness of your own. Take from me. To take means to trust in, to believe. When you go to a store, you go inside the store and you buy that item and you take it with you knowing that I needed this item's going to help me, I believe it's going to help me, that's why you're taking it with you. To go to Christ is to say, God, I need your righteousness. Help me to take it. Number 3 is shake. Look at verse 20. It says,
wake, and then take, and then shake. I like how he's doing that.
behold, I stand at the door and knock.
Shake that ass!
Jesus is saying he's knocking at the door of this
No, that's out of pocket. My bad.
church's heart. It's time for them to open up the door and shake his hand. When someone comes to your house and they knock on your door and you invite them in, one thing that we do is we shake their hands and we look in their eyes and we welcome them into our house. For a lot of us, and for this church in Laodicea, they had left Jesus on the front step for a long time. They had never opened up that door. They had never shook his hand. Looking at Jesus' eyes and shaking his hands, it means welcoming him in to your life. Have you done that? And number 4 is cake. What does
Cake. There you go.
Jesus say in verse 20? He will do when we shake his hand, when we open up that door. He says he will come in and dine with us. To eat with someone in this culture, and even in today's culture, is an intimate thing. To look at someone's eyes across the table, to share a meal, to hold a fork in your hand while another person holds a fork in their hand, and to look at each other and to laugh and to talk. And what he's saying is, I don't just want to have a first course meal with you. I don't just want to have a little kind of snack with you. I want to have cake with you. I want to get all the way past the whole meal, all the way to dessert. I want to spend a whole entire evening with you, the evening of eternity. Eating cake with him, dining with him, being intimate with him can be a daily thing, a lifelong thing. So we know we need to wake. We know we need to take, shake, and cake. How do we tie it all together? You have to look at what Jesus did. Jesus felt the hot, scorching
WWJD.
flames of hell. Jesus felt the cold shoulder from the Father on the cross, so you and I cannot be lukewarm. Jesus submersed himself completely into death and into the wrath of God, so you and I could be all in to God's purpose and God's love for our life. The more you look at Jesus' life and how all in he was to the Father's will, the more it gives you the power to live all in for God. It gives you the power to wake up. It gives you the power to take his righteousness to be your own. It gives you the power to invite him in, to shake his hand, to look into his eyes.
W video. 4 steps to going all in for God. Alex Wilson. I want to. By the way, you get there. I do this all the time with YouTube videos. Get the summary of it. Wake. Realize that you are not self-sufficient or righteous on your own. It involves acknowledging your spiritual neediness rather than assuming you are already perfect or rich. Trust in Jesus and buy from him the gold of his righteousness. This means choosing to rely entirely on his grace instead of your own words. This means choosing to rely entirely on his grace instead of your own works. Excuse me. Shake. Open the door of your heart and shake hands with Jesus. This represents the act of actively welcoming him into your life and building a relationship with him. Excuse me. Move beyond just a casual connection to intimate fellowship. Just as sharing a meal is personal, Jesus invites you to dine with him, an ongoing, deep commitment that lasts a lifetime. So I like that. He's saying, hey, wake up to who you are. Take. And then he's saying, essentially, freaking realize that you're not created to do it on your own. You're created to work, co-create with him. Shake, open the door of your own heart. Shake hands with Jesus. This represents welcome him into your life, and then continue to build upon that relationship throughout your life. Pretty self-explanatory. I want to find. Here, hold up. Let me get off the motherfucking. There we go. All right. What? Oh yeah, bro. We're watching this.
Stay in control with Next Day.
All right. Nope.
And it's funny hanging.
Oh yeah, if you don't know that voice, we can't be friends. All right, we got Joey Diaz on the mic. Joey Diaz on Taking Life Serious. Dude's got a crazy backstory, and this has got to be a cool video. So let's watch it.
With Lee over the last few years doing the podcast, him coming over, whatever, it makes me think a lot. And in the process of writing a book, and when I write the book, sometimes when I go back and read these things, I compare like my life to Lee's, and Jesus Christ. So I was telling Lee a week ago, I go, if I had a chance to do it all over again, once I hit 28, I would make a decision to become a millionaire by the time I was 40. Now, you people are going to say, why 40? Because when I say a millionaire, I say somebody who's well off. Not comfortable and not a millionaire, but somebody who's taken care of in every base. What's the best way to be taken care of when you're 38 to 40? Join the service when you're 18, do 20 years. Come out when you're 38, you got full insurance, full benefits, you go back to school, and you have a thing called a pension. And those pensions don't fuck around. Those pensions pay you some fucking money every month. So even if you get a part-time gig doing security work at high pay, you're not doing that bad.
I think you get because my cousins are both in the Air Force, I think you get something like 75%. And then...
Hey, I'm new to the pension world in the IBEW. The Brotherhood. But for real, that pension be nice.
They both bought houses at the same age I am, nice houses, but they have the option to just live on base and just, as far as I understand,
yes.
take that money for 20 years of no bills. I wish, when I was 18, I was even nerdier and geekier now, so that wasn't even an option. But it's funny about 28, like you said, it's the first time I've really started thinking about my
28
age.
is for 28 and 26 to 28 is when you've already been brokenhearted. You already went to college. The job you wanted, you didn't get. You already, it took you a while to get a job. Maybe you got a job.
Facts. Life done smacked you in the mouth. I've been there. I'm newly 25. Maybe I got some more coming to me. I'm sure I do. Actually, I'm positive I do.
Now you're paying back loans, and you find yourself working, ironing a shirt every night, living with 3 guys, drinking, and all of a sudden you're like, at the end of the week, I got no money. So you start thinking about your life. You go, what the fuck happened? One minute I was graduating college, and the next minute I'm living with 3 fucking guys. I'm broke. They're fucking mutts,
It's a line from a comedy album, but around this time is when you figure out your dreams aren't going to come true. You realize they might not come true, which is just, it's weird.
That's why the girl that won't suck your dick when you're 20 will maybe come around when she's 34.
Yeah.
Because she's already had crabs. The guys cheated on her. You got a job and a heartbeat and a license. You're fucking solid compared to the guys she's been with. And remember, when she was 21, she was the queen of the fucking prom, and she had plans and futures. So, yeah, it happens for all of us like that. We start lowering our standards. But at the same time, listen, man, I didn't take life serious till I was 32. One day at 32, I found myself fucking broke. I mean, living from fucking garbage can to mouth, pretty much. Had a refrigerator that only had Snapple in it and beer. Never was there food in that fucking thing. I lived in a 1-bedroom, pretty much studio apartment. I had a TV, I had cable.
Cocksucker.
But I was living like Rocky Balboa, which there's nothing wrong like that. But they didn't put you on this planet just to give up.
Right.
I love to just get by. If I was on my own, I'd live in this office. I've told you that 1,000 times already. I live in this office. I keep this refrigerator. You teach me how to get Netflix on the computer and the apps to watch the news and shit like that. I wouldn't go anywhere. $400, whatever. A car payment of $3, your insurance. That's it. I'm getting by. That means I could deliver pizza one night a week. That means I could do anything 3 days a week and make my nut and not worry about life.
Make my
and
nut.
not be responsible. Great way to live. I did it for a fucking long time.
We've spoken about that guy, the homeless man who won't take your money.
Right.
How many homeless people do you think are just they're just I'm just gonna enjoy my life from now on. Who cares?
That's it. They're comfortable where they're. And listen, that homeless guy made his decision. When I see him over there and I try to offer him money and I bring him food, and I haven't seen him in a while. I drive in that neighborhood all the fucking time. I think the cops chased him out of over there. I don't see him over there at all. Maybe the last 6 months. But all that time I realized something in my conversation.
You see, and this is why I say, this is a side note, but this is why I say, like the greatest people I have met in my life have been the people that have been drugged through the mud. Bar none. Bar none. Joey Diaz has been through some shit. If you've not heard his story, crazy story. Inspiring story, really. I don't even know if dude's a Christian. I would venture to say he's not. But that is like, see, this is why I don't even like saying I'm a Christian. I'm a Christ follower, you know. And man, I don't know. I know a lot of Christians. I don't know too many of them that take a stroll through the same, looking for homeless people, trying to help them out and stuff. You get what I'm saying? That's Christ-like to me.
That was his choice. He wanted to be there. Okay, and we're all at one point. See, I got married, and at one time I said, this is just too much. This is just too much to handle as a human being, because I was a weak fuck. And I was like, I can't handle this. I just want to disappear. I want to live like John Rambo. Work at a car wash 3 days a week, have a little apartment, eat cans, shit. But one day, man, you go, you know what? I got friends, they got wives, they got houses, they got cars, and they got lives. How do I get a fucking life? It took me to be 32. Now, at 32, I had a life. When she walked out of that house, Lee, I had a life. Wasn't the best quality life. I was taking care of myself. I was eating good. I was exercising. I was making money. I would always take some type of class. But I was just sailing along. I was just waiting to fucking hit something.
Oof. Oof. Going with the flow. If you don't want to make life happen for you, life will happen to you. You know what I mean? That's essentially what my boy's saying right now. Man, it is just makes me sad when I see people like that have just, accepted life for what life throws at them. And that's just a sad place to be, I think. Because that's not what I'm convinced that is not what life is meant to be at all. All the people that, and the funny thing is, trying has even been demonized in our society. Like, if you try, you get what I'm saying? But all the people that have everything and have the success, or have everything, quotes, are people that just, they fucking try, man, and they fail, and they bump their head, and they look stupid, And it's easy to sit there and judge those people and talk shit about them and make fun of them. But, those are the ones that are really doing something. Those are the ones that are really living.
I knew this was not going to be forever. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I'm like, this is not going to be forever. There's no way I'm going to be 40 and estimate Rouge with a truck and come home and play with my kid for 2 hours. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I got the fucking weekend off. Saturdays, I watch the kid, and Sundays, I go to the in-laws for dinner. This is it. This is it. I did time. I was a loser all those years. I was in a rocket ship. I stole. I turned my life around for this.
I was on a rocket ship. What?
It was boring to me. I was like, I can't. I need something else.
So for let's say 70% of Americans who live that life, roughly, maybe it's 50-50, who knows? Are they lying to themselves? Are they really not happy?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Well, we had a discussion earlier about people. We have a friend that paid their dues for something for a few years, and we were talking earlier. We don't think that he understands what he got himself into.
Absolutely.
And that's the first time I mentioned it to Lee. Lee had mentioned it to me once before, but I never saw it. But from Lee and I's conversation the other night, guess how many people that happens to? When you're 18, do you think you could really make a quality decision about what you want to be?
Fuck no.
I thought I could. I thought I did.
In your head, what is the percentage you think of people that at 18 went to college with an idea of what they wanted to be, and that's what they're doing today?
Meet Flipper Zero, the Swiss Army knife of hacking gadgets. With
I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And I got made fun of a lot, and like people criticized me a lot to this day on like how I went about shit. I had fucking more jobs than I can count. I fucking went and did a bunch of shit, and I failed a lot and looked stupid a lot and did a lot of things that, man, I don't know, maybe I would have done different if I fucking went back now. But honestly, I don't know. I don't think I would do shit any different if I went back. Because I figured who I am, what I like to do, and I'm continuing to live that way. Obviously, I have a little bit more boundaries and stuff. I have a kid now. I found a good career, shit like that. But like, still, I'm ever evolving, and I don't understand. That is just the worst. That is the worst standard in game we have placed on humans as a society. Is, hey, you've got to figure out and pick what you're gonna do at this age, and your life's got to look like this. That is ridiculous.
Today, maybe like 20%. I think it's
Is
low.
that how low it is?
I think it's low. Because that's the question is like, is what if they went to school for? There's a lot of people who aren't or are doing, even if it's a good job. Maybe they went to school for history and now they're, I don't know, like a marketing person. Like I think there's a lot of people who change. Isn't it like most people have 3 to
Look how fried he is, bro.
5 careers? Isn't that what the stat like the?
Is that what it is?
I'll look it up or something real quick. But it's something like people. How many of you had? You've had multiple.
Yeah, but I'm a loser. I didn't have multiple careers because I was a winner. I had multiple careers because I was a loser. First of all, I didn't know
Type shit.
what I wanted to do.
Right.
Second of all, I was always buying time because something was coming, or at least I thought. Something was just going to bump into. Like I was going to pick up Sylvester Stallone driving a limo. He's going to put me in a movie, or I didn't fucking know. That's the pipe dream I had, okay? So I had a bunch of jobs because, number one, I was lazy. Number two, I thought they were going to hand it to me, and they're not going to hand it to you. So I did the easy way out. I became a fucking petty thief. And then in the meantime, petty thieving, when I get sick and tired of petty thieving and turn my life around, I get a job at a place as a cook. Well, I'll be a bartender in a year. And after 2 weeks, I go, are you fucking crazy?
Jeez.
Are you fucking crazy?
Because of the work to put in that you have to put into it.
Sure, because who wants to put work in? How can I come to you and go in 10 years, you're going to be a great comedian, Lee? You're going to go, okay, so if I get on stage tomorrow, January 11th, what you mean to tell me is in, what is it, 2027? I'm going to be a good comedian. I can't even think that fucking far. And I'm 50 and I've gone through it. So I can't imagine a 28-year-old wrapping their fucking head around that. When I was 32 late, I was out of options. Okay, so I had no reason. When I was 32, I was out of options. I had nothing. When I tell you nothing going for me. So I had 2 ideas. I had one, I could try this comedy shit. And when I first started comedy, remember, I started comedy in 91, and I was like, listen, this is going to happen. I'm not going to do what Lee does. Lee's an asshole. He gets on stage every night. He's a fucking asshole. I'm just as funny as Lee is. Lee's been doing comedy 4 years. I could write my feet, but this was my thinking. My thinking was that I was going to be in a comedy club, and Jerry Lewis was going to see me and put me in a movie. That's what I really thought. Like, that was how delusional the coke and life and fucking, this is way before Kim Kardashian, but there was somebody who was Kim Kardashian at that time who had me confused that I was going to just get on stage one day and Alan King or David Letterman or somebody was going to be in the audience walking through and they were going to see me and put me on their show and I'd be a famous stand-up comic. I had no idea the work that went into it.
Would you daydream about it?
Oh, absolutely. Like, this is all going to be differently. Don't worry about this. Give me $20. Come on. listen, when fucking they see me at that comedy club in 2 weeks, you're gonna be begging to give me more money. You know, like that was my fucking honest, you know, and I'd fuel that dream with cocaine and actually fucking buy it. Like the asshole that we are at that age and when your mind is that thwarted. So I started in July of 91. It took me till September of 93 to realize that that pipe dream was never gonna happen. Never ever gonna
And that's not
happen.
even that. I bet there's people who smoke the pipe a little bit longer than you did. That's only 2 years.
And I buckled down and I said, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, I have to do this right. And I put together a plan and I went back to
Put together a plan.
Colorado and all the plans
Work the plan.
worked out except for me being a parent. Okay, no worries. But even throughout that whole downshift and the state of mind I was in, I kept getting on stage. I kept getting on stage. It didn't matter. I kept getting on stage. Who gives a fuck? You're getting on stage. You're in pain. You're mad.
It's hard. It was stretching them. It was uncomfortable, but it was doable.
Get on stage. Talk about it on stage. And that's what I did. And by 94, which was 2 years later than that, I really had a dream, not to be famous or nothing like that. At this point, I just wanted to be a working comic that nobody knew about. I would go and do triple runs and you know, whatever, the company in Iowa, and I would work for Creative. And I would just travel around the country in a car and do comedy. I was pretty much set with that. Never did I think about millions of dollars. Never did
Really,
I think about
you never would like sit in bed at night and be like, oh, I can't wait.
Dog, what esteem did I have to actually say to myself, not in 1991 when I was delusional. Once I knew what you had to put into comedy and what went into it and the work and everything, there was no way I thought about millions. I thought about being a break-even working comic, and I was fine with that. You know why? Because where I came from, the position I came from, that would have just turned my life around. If I could just be a working comic and stop stealing and doing drugs, I'd be okay. When I say stealing, I mean generalities, people. Just doing stupid shit. I'm not saying stealing. I'm talking about stealing fucking time and whatever from yourself. Stupid shit. Lee comes to me and says, hey, I got 5 rims. Give me $10. We're going to go sell them and make 50. Stupid shit. Then we get there and the guy don't give us a deposit or the check bounces. Kid shit. Kid shit that we didn't think out. That's what I mean by stealing, not, you know, burger. Once 95 came, I wasn't doing none of that shit. I was just fucking doing comedy. If you had an 8-ball to sell, I'd sell it for you. That type of shit, you know.
W. Joey Diaz, man. The GOAT. The GOAT. Oh, there she is. I just loved the imagery of putting in the necessary teamwork needed for a dinner in order to rest and enjoy dessert together. Facts. Yeah, I was super late to that. That was from the first video. My bad, Reef. My bad, girl. Damn, I don't even know. 43 minutes. Man, that's not the longest stream. I don't know. Maybe we can find something else. But yeah, actually, that face I just made. Jesus Christ. I like that he was saying, man, I'm kind of on point with what I was saying at the beginning of the video, the beginning of the live stream. Dude, it's you find a plan, you work the plan, you bring the natural, God will bring the super, and then together you'll make it supernatural, and crazy things beyond your wildest dreams will happen. It's got to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to stretch you, but it's going to be doable. It's doable. And everyone overestimates what they can do in a year, but underestimates what they can do in 10. And Joey Diaz kind of said that in his video, bro. It's just, I don't know. It's just something that was put on my mind this past week, you know. Don't live life for other people. Live your life. like something about me that I'm proud of is, and that has been like made fun of and like and questioned, and like why live like that? I am the main motherfucking character in my life. And I know a lot of people that are side characters in their own friggin' story. And I just don't get that. I get that. I understand that. I do. But that scares me, living like that. It irritates me, honestly. Like watching people live like that. It's icky to me. I don't really want to be around it. Because I don't want it to rub off on me, pause. You know? But just live your life. Do what you want to do. You know? Go after the thing that you want. Look stupid online in front of everybody. You know? Talk about just random shit. Figure it out. Figure it out in front of everybody. Fail in front of everybody. Because everybody else is just sitting there watching the few that are going out and trying to do it. That are trying. Everyone else is just sitting around judging the people that are doing it. That are doing the damn thing. Be the main character, man. Don't be the side character in your life. Don't be an NPC in your own story, man. You got the motherfucking pen. You can write whatever you want to write. Get to writing. Put the pen to paper. Quit being scared. Quit being scared. Matter of fact, do it scared. Be scared all you want. Just do it scared. Do it. What the fuck do you have to worry about? In 100 years, no one's going to be talking about the judgment that you received. In 100 years, it is very reasonable to believe no one's going to be talking about you. Who fucking cares? Just go after it. And maybe you'll be so impactful that people do talk about you in 100 years. Wouldn't that be cool? Hopefully it's for a good reason. You know what I mean? But still, yeah, hey man, put that pen to paper. You know, write, do, live. Don't live for everybody else. Quit living for everybody else. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Love who you want to love. And quit worrying about every fucking thing else. Quit worrying about it. Quit worrying about it. You ain't going to please everybody. You are not going to please everybody. The one person that you 1,000,000% can please is yourself. You can please yourself. That's the only thing you need to worry about. It's making sure that when you look in the mirror in the morning, you can look yourself in the eye. And when you look yourself in the eye, you're proud of what's looking back at you. And I'm not meaning just physically. That is part of it, yeah. Take care of yourself. Be healthy. But you know what you're not chasing after. You know where you're letting yourself down at. When you look yourself in the eyes, the reason you can't look yourself in the eyes is because you see all the commitments that you've not upheld for yourself to yourself. The reason you don't even go after goals anymore is because you sit there and you say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to get up early and I'm going to go do this. Tomorrow, you know what, I'm going to start posting videos. You know what, tomorrow I'm going to start really loving my wife. You know what, tomorrow I'm going to be the father that I want to be. You know, and then you wake up and then you don't fucking do it. But if you just start, and you can start now, because none of that matters. That stings. Yep, ouch. That stings. But that's reality. That's life. You can't get that back. You can get this moment. You can get this moment right here. And from here on forward, you can change. Change happens like that. Change happens in an instant. It's the decision to change. It's the decision that you can let and allow to take a lifetime. You can let the decision to change take a lifetime. Take your whole life away. Just the decision to change. Oh, you know what? Tomorrow. You know what? Next week. Next month. Next year. That's what I'm going to do. Just fucking live your life. Live your life. Quit worrying about everybody else. Quit it. Please. Just be you. I got Legos falling. Let people laugh with the people that laugh at you, man. Because I'm really laughing at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watching me, big dog. You are watching me. You feel me? You're watching me. I'm living. You know what I mean? I'm getting after it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the damn thing. What's the thing that you're avoiding? Just go do it. Please. Please. Not for me. Not for anybody else. For you. Your number one goal in life should be to look at yourself in the mirror and say, woo! I'm proud of that man right there. I'm proud of that girl right there. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you should have confidence, pride. Be filled with joy at who's looking back at you. Physically, yeah. But most importantly, you're being who you want to be. You're being who you were created to be. And everyone knows what that thing is. That thing that keeps coming up in your mind, that you want to do. The decision that keeps coming up. The goal that keeps coming up, that you keep pushing down. If it keeps coming up, there's a reason to it. There's a reason to it. It's what you created for. Now go after it. I'm gonna end it there. I feel like I kind of gotten some fire there. I love y'all. I love you, Reef. You're a real one. You're a real one, girl. All right. I'll see you next week. And I'm gonna put together a plan. And I'm gonna start working that motherfucking plan with this here